and welcome to another edition of the online empowerment series, Strategic Minds. I am the host with you in mind, Kimberly A. Ferguson. We've only been on this journey for a short while, but so far, the trip has been incredible. Great conversations, great information, and there's so much more to come. If you missed previous episodes, be sure to catch up at strategicminds.tv. This month on Strategic Minds, it's all about success. We have public relations veteran Gia Moron, and you don't want to miss host, writer, actor, and entertainer Kevin D. Thompson. Our first guest, wow, talk about a strategic mind. I had the opportunity and pleasure to sit down with Cheyenne Bostock. For those who may not know Cheyenne Bostock, he is a life and relationship expert, motivational speaker, and author of 2 self-help books. He discovered his passion for inspiring others to find their voice while he was living in a homeless shelter. From there, he went on to create Ask Shy B, a brand that focuses on helping others find their passion and pursue their purpose in life. He's a writer for the Huffington Post, a regular contributing expert on The Bill Cunningham Show, and has been featured on a number of television and radio shows, as well as other media outlets. Get ready to be inspired and empowered. Let's take a look. I'm here with Cheyenne Bostock. He is a relationship expert, an author, and a motivational speaker. Welcome. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So I'm so excited to have him here with us because he has an incredible story, an incredible backstory. And while I know your story, I would love for the audience to hear a little bit more about you.
Well, thank you so much for having me on the show. And a little bit about my background is I started out my entire brand while I was living in a homeless shelter. And the thing about that experience was when I tell people this, they think, oh man, that must have been terrible. But in my mind, I say that was a huge blessing because if I didn't experience what I experienced, I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't have what I have today. And what I have is an opportunity to help other people. The name of my brand is Ask Shy B. And the purpose of the brand is to help people to cultivate healthier relationships through personal development and professional development. Okay. And so while I was living in a homeless shelter, I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. I didn't know whether I was coming or going. And that was the sad part because I was a father at the time and I'm trying to figure out, what am I teaching my son? What example am I setting for my son and for the people around me? And so I looked deep down inside myself and asked myself, Cheyenne, what are you doing here? Not just in a homeless shelter, but what are you doing here on this earth?
Right.
And I asked myself, if you were to die today in this homeless shelter, would your life have meant anything to anybody? Would you have mattered? Would anyone miss you? And the scary part was, the answer was no. And that hit me. That hit me hard. And I said, you know what? I have to make a change. And that's when I had a paradigm shift. Then I started to look deep inside myself and ask myself, Cheyenne, what are you great at? Okay. And then I said, well, I love talking to people. I love making people laugh. I love motivating people and inspiring people, helping them reach their goals. But my problem was I put up a wall for myself. No one put up a wall for me. I put it there. I had no idea that I could actually make a living doing the things that I just mentioned, making people laugh, motivating them, inspiring them, and talking to them. I had told myself, no, you went to school for business. You have to do something in business. Otherwise, you're going to be right back in a homeless shelter. So when I finally removed that wall, I broke it down and said, no, I can do this. I just have to figure out a way to market and brand this thing. Okay. And so I said, you know what, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Because nothing makes me happier than to help other people. It's just something that I naturally do. And I always tell people to turn their passion into a source of income. Okay. And that's what Ask Shy B is all about, using my passion and helping people find their purpose in life.
Nice. Now you talked about that paradigm shift and you talked about breaking down the walls. And it's a lot easier said than done, right? So what are some steps? What are some tips that you would give people to tell them how to break down those walls, how to get over those obstacles?
I think they need to first identify with their fears. Okay. And that's something that I had to do. I was determined that I was going to find something, like I told you earlier, in the area of business.
Okay.
I was afraid to do anything else. It was just, it seemed like it would have been unacceptable by the rest of the world. They would have looked at me and said, wait a minute, didn't you go to school for business? Why are you doing something in the arts? Why are you doing something in this field or that field? And the answer is simply because I want to. You know, I mean, we can all find someone in our network who went to school for one thing, and now they're doing something totally different. Why? Because the reason why they went to school in the first place is probably because of peer pressure, pressure from their parents, pressure from their teachers, and they didn't genuinely want to go through the process. They went through the process so that everyone wouldn't look at them as a failure. And so while I'm sitting there experiencing what I'm experiencing with the degree that I worked so hard for and spent so many hours and thousands of dollars on, I said, no, I don't necessarily want to do something in this. My heart is pulling me in a totally different direction. And that should be okay.
It is okay.
I feel I should be able to be genuine and sincere and say, you know what, wait a minute, that idea you just had, I want to help you reach that. I want to help you make that come into fruition, as opposed to me trying to help you do something that I'm not passionate about. You should definitely want to network and do business with people who have a genuine and sincere interest and is authentic about helping you reach your goals. And that's what I found when I was in that experience, that homeless shelter. I said, you know what? I've been working so hard to prove that I should be able to do something with the degree that I earn, as opposed to just going after my passion all along. But being in the darkest place of my life helped me experience that. And I think a lot of people are afraid to go in that dark place because they think that there's nothing but negativity there. There's no opportunity there. But that's exactly what I found was positive inspiration in that place, because guess what? I didn't have the stress of my family members, my friends, my significant others, or other outside influences, because I was all alone with me, myself, and I. All I had was my thoughts. I had to face myself, and for the first time in my life, I actually did. And what came out of that experience was full transformation. I had a complete paradigm shift, which helped improve the quality of my life.
Okay, so you talked about transformation. Tell me a little bit more about that transformation process. What was that for you? And take it a step further and give us some tips on how to transform. So you talked about pushing past the fear. Now give me more.
The transformation was absolutely essential because I needed to reach my next level. Sometimes we grow complacent and we get stuck. We stay in a place that is comfortable, and we stop going after more. Now here's an issue that I had in my life. After I got my bachelor's degree, I told myself I'm not going to learn anymore. I'm not going to read any more books. I'm not going to write any more papers. I'm never going back to school.
Wow.
That's what I had told myself, and that was one of the biggest mistakes I had ever made. When I was living in the homeless shelter, we had to be out at 8 a.m., so I had to find some place to go. And I didn't want to go to the job readiness programs that they had because they simply were not putting me in places that were on my level, I would say. So I said, you know what, I'm going to take this Metro card, and instead of going to where they told me to go, I'm going to go to where I know I'm supposed to be. So I went to this place called Borders, and they closed now, but it was a bookstore, kind of like Barnes & Noble. And I would read, and I never liked reading. That's the thing. I never liked reading. But you'll be surprised at the things that you'll do when you have no choice. So I went to this place and I started reading books in one sitting, books on psychology, self-help, relationships, branding, marketing, business, you name it. And I noticed a change. I started to become hungry for more and more knowledge. This is the same person who just a year prior in college never liked to read and study. Now I'm reading books in one sitting. And I noticed that, you know, maybe this is me becoming a little bit more mature and understanding the true meaning of life. I was actually seeking knowledge as opposed to it being like a chore. And so when I started to just dive into those books and just absorb the information and pour into myself, I started to feel better about myself and my situation, and I started to see what was possible. And I like to tell people to use the 3 Ps as inspiration. The 3 Ps are pain. I experienced pain, and I didn't let it destroy me. I let it elevate me. And the second P is process. I had to go through that process to get to my next level.
Okay.
And the third P is possibility. I saw what was possible for me. I was surrounded by men who were so comfortable living there. They said, that's my bed. I said, that's your bed? What are you talking about? Your bed? I'm covering my face trying to make sure nobody sees me because I don't even want to get to know anybody. This is just a transitional period for me. And so that was motivation for me to change my situation completely. And I think that's where people need to be in their lives. They need to see where they are, experience the pain, because now I can talk about it. This was over 5 years ago, but now I can talk about that pain. I can talk about that process, and I can talk about what's possible because I've done it for myself, and I know that other people can do it for themselves as well. I actually went back to that homeless shelter a couple of weeks ago to speak to the men, and it was about 50 men in the room. They looked at me like, who is this guy coming up in a suit thinking he's somebody talking to us? And I said, you know what, I'm coming to you guys because I used to be where you are. It's not because I think that I'm better than you. I think that we're equals. We're on the same level. You can go out there just like I did and fuel your mind, empower yourself, encourage yourself to be whatever it is that you want to be. The longer you sit here in your own sorrow, the further you'll be from your goals and the more challenging it will be to get to your next level.
And how powerful that must have been. You know, someone coming in and that shows relevance. I mean, you showed a relevant, concrete example of someone who was right where they were and was able to elevate. Now, I'm going to rewind to your first P, to the pain. So many times we get caught up in that pain. We get stuck in the pain. How do you push through it? I know it's really easy for us to say push through the pain, but what is it that a person can do to get past that pain?
One word.
Okay.
Faith. You have to have faith. In order for any of this to work, you have to have faith. And what faith is believing in the unseen.
Okay.
I know something positive is going to happen to me when I walk out of this room. I don't have to see it. You don't have to explain it to me. I believe in it. And a belief system can be extremely powerful. Okay. It can elevate you. It can inspire you. It can motivate you to take your next steps. If you're not believing in anything big, you're going to continue to do things that are small.
I love it. I love it. So now that you've given us a lot of meaty stuff. We talked about the 3 Ps, which I think is huge, and just transformation, steps for moving to the next level. So tell us what's next level for you. What's on the horizon for you?
Well, I have a big vision. I'm not going to drop everything right here in the show.
Come on, share it.
But I will tell everybody to stay tuned on my new website,
okay.
www.askcheyenne.com, and stay connected on social media. Okay. I'm excited about this new platform, Periscope.
Yes.
I'm going to be doing Free Advice Wednesday on the Periscope.
Okay.
And just stay tuned.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I know that the audience got so much out of what you shared today. And in all you do, be strategic.
Amen.
Amazing. What a story. So motivational. For more information on Cheyenne Bostock, visit www.askcheyb.com or connect with him on social media at AskCheyB. Next up is Gia Moron, founder and Chief Executive Officer of GVM Communications, Inc., a boutique public relations, brand, and personal development consulting firm, which she launched in 2012, and through which she has worked with various businesses, nonprofits, entrepreneurs, speakers, and authors. She is a PR veteran with over 20 years experience and has worked at Wall Street powerhouse Goldman Sachs as a media relations officer. She was also director of promotions and publicity at a well-known entertainment company. She and I had a great time chatting it up in the city. Check it out. Now this girl from Brooklyn, what do you do? What's your profession?
What do I do? So I'm a public relations professional.
Okay.
And I actually found it wasn't a career I had set out to, that I'd set out for.
Okay.
Quite honestly, I remember being about 15 years old, and I was just being my normal social self. and a friend of mine said, you know, you should go into public relations. I had no idea what that was at 15. I'm like, what does that mean? And fast forward, here I am in that same industry. And I remember some years ago, I actually saw that friend and I said, you know, I never forgot you mentioned I should go into public relations, and here I am 20 plus years later in PR.
Nice. And whenever I talk to you, I know that you're just so passionate about what you do. Why is public relations so important?
So, you know, most overall brand itself has a core message, right? And you think of McDonald's, you think of the Walmarts, you think of the big brands. We all know what they're known for.
Okay.
Think of yourself as an individual brand. What do you want to be known for?
Right.
And for me, I'm still even uncovering that, right? So even sometimes my supporting messages change, but my core message always stays the same. So going into business for myself, I wanted to help people figure out their message.
Okay.
So that's what it is. And then it led to other things as well, supporting and helping women-owned business owners.
Okay.
That was just super important to me because I understand the struggle.
Okay. So many powerful messages are coming from our conversation.
Oh, wow.
I mean, one, taking advantage of an opportunity, not
Absolutely.
once, but twice, just from the examples that you've given. And then another was just the idea of thinking about our brand and the power of our brand and being consistent with our brand. So that's transitioning me into the next question. Advice. If you were to give advice to the people who are watching today regarding their brand, regarding making it pop, making it consistent, what would you say to them?
Making it pop. Wear something bright. No, you know, honestly, it's interesting. I think for every individual, be comfortable with who you are. I think many times people go into the business world to try to fit in because they believe that's what's going to lead them to success. What people will see is your authenticity. And I believe that once you do your best and bring your best self, it stands out. Energy is a big, big part of it. If you're not confident about what you're doing, it shows.
So let's think about what's next for Gia Moron and for GVM Communications.
You know, it's interesting. So I started my public relations firm, and it's brand development and public relations, and you know, we focus less on publicity or representation of clients, although we still have a few clients that we represent. We focus more on messaging and brand building and media training. And what I found, and this is actually through clients, they told me I've been coaching them through their sessions. And at first I didn't get it, but I understand it now. A lot of times when people are preparing for an interview, you get nervous. What am I going to say? What am I going to do? And what comes out of that is a lot of insecurities.
Okay.
And it may not be insecurities about the job, but within themselves. And I actually had another therapist tell me this, and I'm thinking, but you're the therapist. I need some couch time, right? But no, I mean, but that's where I realized a lot of personal development growth, even within myself, is coming out of being an entrepreneur. And so that's where, although I'm still loyal and I still love what I do as far as the PR side, but that's really where I'm broadening the business and hosting personal development workshops. And the first one we did was called Breaking Cycles in your business as well as in your personal life.
Okay.
You know, just breaking through, forgetting about that glass ceiling. It's not a glass ceiling. What it is a repeated behavior.
I like it. Wow. Good stuff.
Thank you.
So thank you so much. Thank you for coming on today. Thank you for sharing advice with the audience. And just thank you for the connection. We talk about brand and we talk about networking on the show. We talk about personal development and professional development. And our relationship encompasses all of those things. We talk about, Gia and I met on social media.
We did.
So
We
so
did.
it was
It's so
it was,
important.
yeah, and it was networking that brought us
Absolutely.
together, and we've continued to stay connected. So I thank you so much for joining me
You
today.
are so welcome. You are so welcome. Thank you so
hugs.
much.
Great information. Thank you, Gia. You can follow Gia on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Gia_VM, or connect with her on LinkedIn at Gia Moron. Our last segment is a treat. His life is a party, and he allowed Strategic Minds a glimpse into his world. Kevin D. Thompson has an impressive resume, and this is just the beginning. He's the former warm-up man for The Wendy Williams Show, host and entertainer for Untouchable Events Entertainment Company, and serves as Mr. Moviephone, the face and the voice of the AOL Moviephone brand. Since becoming Mr. Moviephone, Kevin has made appearances on Entertainment Tonight, The Insider, covered movie premieres, and interviewed tons of celebrities. Today, he is going to share strategies on how to be a successful host and how to be the best you can be. Let's hear from Kevin D. Thompson.
Hi, Strategic Minds. Hey, K-Ferg. I call it K-Ferg because we used to be in this rap group together when we were young. No one ever believes me when I tell that story. I'm Kevin Thompson, just like K-Ferg said. She's not a liar. I'm a host and entertainer, and since we're discussing success this month, I'm going to teach you guys how to be a successful host. Here we go. I should stop doing that. That's weird. It creeps people out. Step 1! You need to protect your instrument. And in this scenario, your instrument is your voice. La 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 la. Me 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 me. Okay, I don't really do those things, but what I do do, do. But what I do is this voice exercise that I learned from a phenomenal voice coach. And it goes as such. Monica, 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 Potica, 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 Monica, Potica, particularly. Fun, right? Monica, 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 Potica, 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 Monica, Potica, particularly. I need you now. Monica, 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 Potica, 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 Monica, Potica, particularly. So that's what I do every single day just to get my diction flowing. You have to have clear diction just because how else are they going to understand you, silly? Also, to protect this instrument, you're going to need to drink a lot of tea. I recommend throat coat. I've drunken a lot of these things in the past couple of years. It has helped me in my time of need. Throat coat, drink it, practice your voice exercises, and also learn to stop talking when you don't need to. That was very hard for me, but I figured it out. Step 2! Now, hosts come in all different shapes and sizes. But one thing we all have in common is that we're all Trump supporters. Wait, no, that's not right. Trump supporters, where did I come from? Let me look at my notes. Trump, oh, no, that's not it. Oh, no, drugs? No, we don't all do drugs. What? How did I get in there? Well, I had to put it in there. No one else is here. Oh, here it is. Ah, polished. Did you ever hear the term fake it till you make it? Well, that's a real thing. I'm not even a real host. I am. Now, whether it be earlier in my career when I was warming up the Wendy Williams Show, or even now when I'm down in Times Square hosting a New Year's Eve party, or even when I'm on the red carpet interviewing your favorite actor or actress. Okay, now I'm just bragging. The point is, I always dress the part. When I look good on the outside, I feel good on the inside, and then I can be the best me I can be. Step 3! Step 3 is to simply know your crowd. That way, you know how to play to them. So if you're hosting a bar or bat mitzvah, get to know the kid. Know what school he goes to, what camp he's a part of. If you're hosting a big corporate event, know your sponsors. That way you know who to thank at the end of the night or throughout the night. And most importantly, remember people's names. I always repeat people's names back to them as soon as they tell it to me. If you so happen to forget, like most people do, don't be afraid to ask them. Trust me, they'll be glad that you did. Everyone loves the sound of their own. Oh, sorry. I thought a sexy woman was calling my name. Then I realized I'm in my apartment by myself. I need help. Step 4. Don't be afraid to promote yourself. A lot of hosting gigs are from word to mouth, so don't be afraid to hand out a business card or, what's that? My wristband? KevinDThompson.tv? How did I get there? So follow those 4 easy steps and you will be a successful host. I'm Kevin Thompson, host and entertainer. Back to you, K-Ferg. Kimberly Ferguson. I have to really stop doing things like that. Jesus.
Now, come on, y'all. I know you are all doing Monica, Potica, Monica, particularly. Definitely going to be adding that exercise to my daily routine. Many thanks to Kevin for that segment. So entertaining and so full of strategies that you can start implementing today. No matter your career, the tips he provided, from protecting your instrument to dressing the part and knowing your audience and self-promotion, will help to elevate your brand. For more on Kevin D. Thompson, visit him online at www.kevindthompson.tv. Well, I can't believe it's time to bring another episode of Strategic Minds to a close. If you enjoyed this episode, OMG, next month is going to be awesome. I sit with the Cindy Ashton for an interview, during which she shares steps that we can use to improve our voice and presence and influence perception. For more information on Strategic Minds, to watch previous episodes and promos, to learn how you can join the family and be on the show, visit strategicminds.tv and join the movement. And for more on me, Kimberly A. Ferguson, author, professional development trainer, speaker, and the host with you in mind, visit me online at kfergspeaks.com or follow me across social media platforms at kfergspeaks. And remember, in all you do, be strategic.